Welcome to T Boys TV. We are back again with another Hat Show, episode 228. And in this one, obviously, as you can tell by the title, obviously there is a lot of transfer news. Obviously, deadline day, we expected a lot to happen, especially the amount of incomings we expected, outgoings. Maybe not quite the players that did go out, but obviously we'll touch on that later. First of all, we're going to touch on the game on Saturday. And then, yeah, like I say, we'll get into transfer news. But before we get into any of that, Dad, how are you?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. Busy at work. No, but all good, yeah.
Good to hear. Big up to Daniel in the chat. He says, big up to yourself, mate. Hope you are well. But yeah, let's get straight into it. So Sheffield Wednesday, going into it, you went for a crazy scoreline, Dad, of 3-2. Classic. We do have a good record there, so that was fair enough. As for me, I did say another defeat. Partly that was just because of the away form, just throughout the whole season. And it's one of them where, they were on a bit of form, good opportunity for them if they did win, to be on the same points as teams, in the playoffs and stuff. So it was one of them, but the lineup going into it, so Kaminsky in goal, very interesting lineup, few interesting shouts that no one would have expected. One of them being Johnson starting. There was a lot of speculation and guesses that he's probably going to go out on loan, but he was in the lineup. He hasn't gone out on loan. Anderson, McGuinness, and Walters. Walters, I had a feeling he'd come in at some point. Maybe not quite this game, but I knew he would as the games go on. Obviously, Bloomfield, as we know, likes to rotate. He doesn't stick with the same 11 constantly in games. Anderson and McGuinness, like I say. And then Lamine started ahead of them. That was interesting for me, like I said in the match reaction, because, the guy's been injured. I think his third game in English, like in the league anyway, and I did think maybe it's a little bit risky. But then again, I see why we've done it from the other side as well, because Nakamba obviously gave away the penalty, didn't he, against Millwall, and he does have that clumsiness in him. I remember when we played Sheffield Wednesday in a friendly and he gave away a penalty in that game as well. So, it's one of them. It's very similar, actually, thinking about it, to the one that he did give away against Millwall as well, in that sense. And then the four ahead was obviously Doughty on the left, as you'd expect. Brown on the right. Surprised you still started, to be honest. And then you had Asgard and Clark. Asgard, if any of the new signings were nailed on to start, it was always going to be him. He was the match fittest out of all of them. And then, like I say, Morris up front. Again, I said about changing the striker. I knew it weren't going to happen. Obviously, you went with Morris yourself, Dad. And it was probably going to happen based on his goal scoring record against Sheffield Wednesday as well. Obviously, he scored 2 in the reverse fixture and stuff like that. And then as for the bench, we had the likes of Elijah. And it was interesting to see the bench because you sort of got a glimpse of who's going to be at the club. Elijah was on the bench despite speculation about West Brom looking at him. Ali, obviously a new signing. Bowler, new signing. Hashioka, Krul, Naismith, Nakamba, Nelson, and Walsh. So obviously there was no Woodrow there, as we know, and we'll obviously get into it a bit more later on. Obviously he has left on loan to go to Blackburn. But yeah, he wasn't there. Holmes wasn't there. He's gone out on loan as well. So you sort of got a glimpse and an understanding of that. One player that hasn't been in the lineup recently that is still going to be at this club, at least until the summer, is Moses. Maybe a lot of us thought he would be one to go out, but obviously he hasn't been. But yeah, it was a interesting lineup, few interesting shouts, like I say, wasn't there, Dad?
Yeah, it's good to see Johnson starting. He's got that slightly more experience. I think he's probably a better player than Walters is. Walters still got a lot to learn, but he's good in spells. But he's going to get a run out. Sticking with Anderson, McGuinness is all going to start. We knew Agard was going to start. Like I said, Brown, but Jones said personal issues, I think, and that's why he didn't start. Obviously Doughty. So yeah, it's pretty 4-1-4-1. I think it was. decent. You know, Doughty and Brown higher up, which was good. And then, like I say, the substance. So you kind of see new signings on the bench as well. You know, obviously, I said that Bowler I was the starting bowler, but you know, Brown was involved in our goal. So you know, and Lamine as well was also involved in our goal. And look good in spells. So I can see why so he's going to try these players out as well. Do you know what I mean? That's what you've got to be doing. So it's quite a brave lineup. I think maybe under Edwards we'd have been like, oh, I don't like that. What are we doing? Do you know what I mean? But you know, it worked in the end. So you can't really be grumbling. And you know, again, we've got the new signings coming in as well to mix it up a little bit. So yeah, it was good to see. Got a nice little break now as well. So
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you say. If it was under Edwards, one because of the away form, and two, look at players. Even though he had a decent game up until the penalty, players like Lamine, for example, you know, young, played a few games, adapting to English football, that would have been a bit risky, looking at it at that time. But especially with how we play as well, when we do play these type of games, we play a 4-1, 4-1, and obviously he's the one in front by himself in his own sort of section. So I do agree with that. But yeah, going into the first half, again, what it's been like in a lot of games this season, I'd say with the start, a bit of a slow start. Kaminsky, getting out to stuff and doing his usual, really, when it comes to things like that. And then obviously we grew into it a little bit. Obviously we got a goal. Alfie Doughty, great strike. Like I said in the match reaction, we've missed him. It's been blatantly obvious anyway the last couple of games. Ever since he come back the Oxford game, just the impact he tried to make in that game. Like I said in the match reaction as well, I like that we're not so reliant on just him on set pieces anymore. Him and Clark chopping and changing. That's great to see. And it's a great strike. Like I said, it was a very similar goal to the goal we scored against QPR. Morris with the exact same type of assist as well, which was it's quite weird in that sense. But yeah, Morris had a better game. Obviously, got the assist, but it's good build up play before that as well. Obviously, Brown was involved. Lamine, like you say, dad as well. So it's a great strike, and like a lot of us, as soon as that's hit him, oh sorry, as soon as he's hit it, it's going in. It's one of them type of strikes, and what a goal it was, and it was great because what I was watching it on, we had the Luton commentator, one that goes mental every time, and it was good to bring that back and have that. But it was a great strike, wasn't it?
yeah, excellent. But good build-up play as well, and I'm pleased the fact we actually scored from open play as well. Long range shot. Good tenacity from Lamine to get forward, intercept, and then carry on running. Good pass as well from Brown. You know, in swinging sort of pass. Excellent control from Morris. Holding it up and then laying it off, and like you say, as soon as it left his boot, it was always going in the back of the net, and great left foot strike. And this is what I'm saying. You don't really see Alfie in them positions, do you? And because he said it in his interview afterwards, like he's not used to playing as a left midfielder, a left attacking midfielder. He's pretty much played under the last couple of managers as a left wing back. Yes, he does get forward, but it's normally to cross it in and not so much have that freedom. So that's good, and hopefully we can see a few more goals from him and things like that. And also, Agard was in and around, to get past to or get the shot off as well. So yeah, it was general good play. You deserve it. Well, you deserve what you get. You know what I mean? If you've got the quality in your side, then of course you deserve it. And yeah, it was pleasing. And then it didn't really have a lot after that. It was actually 1-0 up at half time, and I don't, you know what I mean? I don't think that's happened since Millwall, maybe. Yeah. Another sort of stat that's changed. And then obviously the second half, we know there's going to come out. They're in good form. they're well structured. We were quite structured in that, but they've got some confident players in their team. Bannon's always like the fact that he stayed with them. So he could have went to the Premier League. I think at some stage in his career. Always looks dangerous. Always plays the right pass, etc. And then they brought on someone who's got a lot of experience. Sort of changed the game a little bit in their favour, but we dealt with it. Kaminsky obviously some good saves. That kept us in it again, but this time it worked and we got the point. But yeah, it was an excellent goal.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I say, going in at 1-0, it was one of them. I think the last time overall we went in 1-0 was Hull, I believe, from the top of my head. Obviously, when we won that game in the league, but away from home, yes, it was the Millwall game. But yeah, going into that second half, I mean, they were quite dominant, to be honest. It weren't a great second half from our side of things. They were on top of us the whole time, really. If we're going to be honest, the penalty, like I say, there has been a few people saying it's not a penalty. I think when you come in behind like that, it's just especially with no VAR and stuff, the referee, their first instinct is going to say a penalty in their mind, and it was given. Kaminsky nearly saved it, and obviously he saved the one the week before. He nearly saved this one as well, but didn't quite save it. And then that moment in, they just had a lot of momentum. They've done very well this season. You have to give them the credit for that. And they just had the momentum and the confidence to try and get another one. It was as simple as that, really, wasn't it, Dad?
Yeah, it was a penalty. It was what I didn't like. It's just basically the follow through. Like he skipped the first challenge. He actually got his shot away. But the contact, the follow through was kind of what took him down. So it is a bit of unlucky one to a certain extent. Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, the ref give it as well. And we nearly saved it, and then the onus is either on us. If we're really confident that new signings are more, gelled in and stuff, it might have been a different story. But obviously, not the momentum, like you said, switched, and we weren't desperate defending as we've done before. But we was a little bit at times, but it was well defended. Either Kaminsky or a couple of defenders were pretty good. To be fair, Johnson was actually pretty good as well. And we held on for the point, which is it's a psychological thing. Now we've done that, and you could see in the game that they were a little bit. It was edgy because they're going to because of the run before. But now we've done that, it should be easier. We've got a tough game next against kind of rivals. There is a bit of rivalry there because of the playoffs and that. And they're not going to be afraid to come forward and things like that. So this is where we need some of our new signings. The other players to step up, but some of the new signings to show why we brought them to the club. But we just sort of held on in the end. But I'm fine with that. It's like I say, it's away. And that's what we should have been doing. In other away games against teams that are on form. In a big stadium, it weren't full, whatever, but they're in form. Do you know what I mean? And they're doing really well, and they ain't really spent a lot of money. I think there's issues with their owners and stuff like that, but overall, it's a decent point. Yeah, if it was, like end of March and that, we'd have been like, do you know what I mean? But there's still time, and we're not like well out of it. I think we're only 2 points off now. And certain teams are going to play over the weekend or, this week. So potentially we'll have a game in hand over a few teams. And the fact that we've got to play a lot of the teams in and around there is good, especially at home as well. There's teams that are dropping badly. And we have got the quality. And it's interesting that Doughty's come out and said that it's what I had said months ago, but we still had Rob Edge, was in that sort of doldrums that the quality's too good. It is and if they're all playing to a certain level, you shouldn't be going down. So let's see. I mean, Doughty just seems like a new player almost. Do you know what I mean? Which is crazy, really. And the fact that between them, Clark's taking certain kicks and he's taking, do you know what I mean? That balance as well. We needed that from ages ago. I do not understand why no one else was. Um, and there's other players that might be in that frame now. I don't know, like Bowler, can he take a free kick? Possibly. Um, so
Asgard.
Asgard as well. Yeah, so and Ali come on. His dribbling skills, caused them a little bit of problem. He got stuck in. Do you know what I mean? Looks a little bit raw, but you're jumping up. Is it 2 levels for him? Was it 1 level?
Just one level.
1 level, but there is a difference between League One and the Championship, definitely. But for his first game, he's willing to run forward, take on players, and that's what you need. That's what you need. And then Bowler had a chance, so squashed it wide as well, but got involved. He's strong, he's always gonna get stuck in. And again, he's playing in his favourite position. A lot of people saying, yeah, he's Preston, he done nothing. When he's at Blackpool, he did, because he was playing, as a right attacking midfielder, winger, not a left, right centre, right back or whatever. So there's all that to come, and you could see little bits of it there, much more structured, and it's you just got to look at it onwards, upwards. A little bit of time to work with players now. Transfer business is done, so now we've got a lot of forward options. We've still got Elijah, we've still got Morris. We've got the 2 new, so we've got the other striker who hasn't played yet. Which we'll obviously get onto in a bit, and Ali, who can play there, anywhere across there. So yes, and we still got Jones as well. So we've definitely got enough quality to get out of it compared to other teams that are in and around it. Portsmouth, don't know if they've got enough. Plymouth definitely haven't. Derby haven't. Hull signed some players, but we'll see what happens there. And Cardiff, they've been in and around it all season, and they got a big heavy defeat to Leeds, and that ruins your confidence sometimes. So let's see. There's still enough time, and I don't care. No, at this point in time, I don't care if we just scrape it. It's all about next season now, isn't it? Let's be honest. If we're still in the Championship, we will definitely do better than we have done this season. Well, I fully believe that. So, yeah, overall, I'm happy with the point.
Yeah, no, I agree. Especially with like I say, how that second half was. I was happy that we managed to hold on, and like I said in the reaction as well. It's a point. Let's build on it. We need to build on it now. It's a good point away. Like I say, given their form, how they've done throughout the season. But it still were 23rd. So we, as long as we keep getting them points, that's all that matters come the end of the season. And like you say, we have a big break now. Bigger than a lot of other teams. It's weird how this game week is in the Championship. It really is 8 games, but like they start today and then they end on Sunday. It's proper weird, but obviously we're not part of that, so we can focus on cutting out like individual mistakes that we do at times, and just stuff like that. Focus on playing how we played for that first half, for example. Towards the end of it, that was good, man. And again, touching on the Doughty goal, we've been missing goals like that. We haven't been doing that, taking them pop shots and stuff. And I'll be honest, if anyone was going to do that, I would have thought it'd have been Asgard. But we know Doughty's capable of doing it. Like I say, that QPR goal. So it's good that he done that. And I'd say let's build on that point really when it comes to that. But yeah, it's all interesting. I was thinking for we won't quite do player ratings this week. We'll just do man of the matches. Because yeah, we'll just flick through it really, sort of thing. So man of the match for me, there was I'd say three candidates. I'd say Doughty. I would have said Lamine up until that penalty, but I'm not going to say him. I'm going to say Doughty is up there. Kaminsky's up there. Uh, I think Asgard was decent. The more I look into it, at first I thought it was just a decent debut, like an average sort of debut. There was things he done in the game which was good. That moment where he controlled it and turned, that's brilliant. So I'd say them three. McGuinness was really good. Credit to him, he was really good again, solid. There was a moment where he had a bit of looked like he could have stretched a bit too much, but he was all right in the end, thankfully. So they're the four for me. But based on that, I'm going to go with Doughty. And again, it's not just because he scored the goal. I think he's just so influential now for us attacking going forward. Especially when you put him up there. He can make a massive, massive difference. And like I say, every single game he's come back, he looked good for us and he's really helped us. So for me, I'm going Doughty. You could put McGuinness, that was solid in this game, and that's the thing. He has been solid. It's just he has them individual mistakes, but there weren't none of that in this game. So you could definitely put him in. Kaminsky for them saves yet again, especially the pressure they're putting in the second half. They're the main three for me, and then I'll say Asgard behind them, sort of thing. But I'm going to go with Doughty. Who is yours, Dad?
Well, I think Kaminsky was decent, but pretty much, but he always is generally kept in the game. But undoubtedly, obviously, is up there. For me, McGuinness and Anderson, especially towards the end, were really good. So I thought it's probably Anderson's best game for us since he's been back from injury, but I'm going to give it to McGuinness. I think he's stepping up, and he seems to him and Anderson actually seem to work pretty well. I know he was all right with Holmes and that, but Holmes was a bit gung ho at times, bit younger. I still think he's definitely in our plans, but he needs to. It was basically saying, and we signed Naismith as well. Do you know what I mean? So who's got experience? So we're obviously looking for that more experience in certain ways in the centre back positions. And at the moment they're there, aren't they? And obviously they probably keep a space open for either Mengi, or Lockyer as well. So that's what my thinking is behind it because of the squad size. But I think Johnson done well as well. Looked really composed. Good clearances towards the end. Walters for me was probably the worst out of the back four. Patchy. At times he's good at running down and clearing it, but when it comes to one-on-one and things like that, backtracking into the box, he's not quite there yet. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to McGuinness.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Let's go through comments. Comments are flying in. A few people said the man of match as well. Big up to Paul as always. Good evening. Big up to yourself, mate. Daniel with an interesting shout. Obviously, we can't get him now, but maybe potentially. I mean, he was injured in the thing, but I don't know. It's one of them where I think we've put so many offers in now. Wickham are just going to keep doing what they've done. If we done it again in the summer, for example.
Well, the chances are, if they don't go up, then he's probably gonna someone else, other people will be interested in him. Whether they're willing to bid that much is I don't think they'll get the same as what we were bidding now anyway. Unless someone top champion comes in and goes, well, I don't care, I'll give you 10 million for him. Doubt it. So that's going to be interesting, but we might not even need him now. Let's not discount this other striker that we've signed and the other attacking players that we've signed as well. Ali and who's the other one?
Lassen and Glass.
Yeah, them two, and we've still got Elijah and Morris at the club as well. So if we start, this game, for instance, Morris was more effective in this game as a lone striker than he has been in a lot of other games, I think. Do you know what I mean? So there's them connections that are starting to work. So you might not even need it. Do you know what I mean? And let's see. You know, I'm not. We went in for him. We've always got that link with Bloomfield as well. So you know, there's always the potential. Um, but I'm not really fussed about that now, right at this moment in time. Because I think we've definitely got enough quality. At the time, we were like, well, they're not playing well, and you've got rid of Taylor, we ain't got anyone else in. But the attacking players that we have brought in can, you know, get you them numbers that you need and provide for the strikers that are already at the club, that are already proven at this level where he's not. So, yeah, there's a chance of it, but I think that they will go up now because you know they're a few points clear. As long as if he stays fit for them, I think they're just set like that. They've got a good manager now, well, highly rated coach who was at Sunderland, like assistant manager or whatever he was, head coach. Um, you know, he's used to working with a certain way and that, and I think they know what they're doing. So we need to stay up. That's all I give a shit about currently. But yeah,
Yeah, fair enough. Port Vale scored against Wrexham in the first minute. It's just come up. That's pretty crazy. Obviously, as you'll know, obviously I went to neutral game and watched Port Vale this season.
but
I'm
they
glad.
some sort
What's
of
that?
cup. Port Vale were in League Two, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah. So it's in the EFL Trophy. There's a few games. I know Birmingham are playing Stevenage away today, so uh, there's a few interesting ones there. But yeah, obviously there's two championship games as well. Like I say, it starts today. It's weird this one, but good to see Ed in the chat. He says, "Evening, gentlemen. Big up to yourself, mate. Hope you're well." He says on the tackle, such a clumsy tackle, look bad tight in real time. Can see, yeah, exactly. That's the thing, and that's what I was saying earlier. Jackie says, "Hi, Ty does. We held on at the end. I was really happy with the draw. Yep, same here. Same here. Yeah, we did. We did do well to do that. And that's the thing, you know, look at games under Rob Edwards, let's be honest. Swansea away is the first one I can think of. You know, we didn't hold on, and they were putting pressure like Sheffield Wednesday were. So there's positives to take, you know, there is out of that. Good to see Harry in the chat. Yeah, we're good, thanks, mate. Jackie says Doughty man of the match, so she agrees with me there. About down time, Anderson put in a shift. He owes us. Yeah, he was really good. He was really good. Him and McGuinness. There was a picture actually that come out of them two. It's on McGuinness's Instagrams. It's a pretty sick picture actually. There's one of him and Doughty as well. That was good. But yeah, that could be the partnership going forward. You know, obviously McGuinness is a nail one. You know, and Anderson is rated highly by Bloomfield. So that probably will be the partnership going forward. Touch with no injuries from the pair of them. That will be the partnership, and maybe Naismith will come in, like you say, Dad, a left centre back a few games. Maybe he might even go into left back some games as well, potentially. So it'd be interesting. Yeah, yeah, they change the name every year, don't they? So yeah, it's an interesting one. Ed's got a question, but we'll get into that in a bit because it'll make sense with talking on that. But yeah, that's all of that done when it comes to the game and everything like that. So like we say, overall we'll take the point, you know, and we'll try and build on it. Obviously, we've got a very tough game. Let's not beat around the bush. You know, Sunderland away, who have just beat Middlesbrough 3-2 away. You know, it's not going to be an easy game at all. But we're seeking revenge. You know, let's be honest. But obviously, we'll get into that nearer the time. Transfer news, right? Obviously, deadline day yesterday. Um, you know, the signing, the striker. Obviously, we briefly touched on it, so I won't say too much else on it. The only thing I will say quickly on it is he seems like a mix between Elijah and Morris, and he could give them a kick side, you know, or kick up the arse, really. You know, some of the goals he scores very similar to Elijah in the sense of he's a tall player like Elijah. You know, he's very good with the ball at his feet. You know, there was a goal he scored, and like the player fell down, like slipped, and then he like finished him, but he done him. Um, you know, so he's going to be another good option. You know, it'd be interesting to see because we do play a lot of long balls. What it's going to be like when he's trying to get up for them. Hopefully, he'll win a lot more of them duels and stuff. But yeah, the very upsetting thing, even though it's only a loan, is Kelly Ruddock going out on loan. I mean, I wanted him to stay till the summer, personally, like in a Luton shirt. Obviously, he's gone on loan to Rotherham. Well, obviously, Gary Sweet hinted at a testimonial. Hopefully, he gets that testimonial. That would be really good. I'll try my best to go to that because, that would be sick. And I know a lot of you obviously will try that as well. But yeah, what a guy. Nombe might have had a say in this, to Steve Evans to try and get him through. Obviously, we had Nombe briefly at Luton, but it's an interesting move. He should do well there. Rotherham fans seem happy about signing him. It's just more so they didn't really get other cover elsewhere, which they weren't too happy about. But yeah, it was a bit of a blow here in this one. I mean, it was difficult because he's rarely going to get in the team, but you are going to miss certain things like the changing room situations, being that just that guy with that banter, and it is going to be weird. Obviously, nothing's come out yet of him in a Rotherham shirt, but it's going to be weird to see that. So yeah, it was. What did you make of it, Dad, when you saw it?
Well, he needs to be playing football. You know what I mean? He's been wasted on the bench. Let's be honest. Do you know what I mean? It's rude. He's got.
One league start as well.
Do you know what I mean? I think he's still a decent player, especially at that level. Yeah, without a doubt. Hopefully he'll go straight in. Obviously, yes, it's like an end of an era. I do believe he'll get a testimonial. It'll probably be against West Ham, I would have thought. Like a friendly, just, whatever, or whatever. I don't know how they're going to work it. It could bring other players back in to the fold, your Potts, Hilton, Colin, you know what I mean? Players I don't know. That definitely happened, because he absolutely deserves it, but he's not retiring. Obviously, he might end up there full time, or he might want to go closer to home. You know what I mean? A lot of our players end up going to Stevenage. I wouldn't really begrudge him that. You know what I mean? If he wants to stay local within the day, and he just needs to be playing football. And and it must be quite heartbreaking for him a little bit. Although he's probably psychologically prepared for it to a certain extent. Rotherham's the other side. It's not miles and miles away, but it is from Luton in that respect. And it must be hard for him to go into a changing room where there's potentially not a lot of players that he knows, or he probably does know a couple of them anyway. He's been around, the divisions for a while and stuff. And like I say, may have known for a little while. But yeah, I just obviously good luck to him wherever he goes, 100%. And I want to see him score some bangers and that. He's still got a couple of years left there, definitely. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure he'll enjoy it, but it is what it is. The end of the day, and the manager come in and says, "Look, you're not going to get much game time. You've got to be a bit ruthless as well." But it's fine because he'll get his testimonial. His contract's up in the summer anyway, so everyone kind of knew that he'd be going anyway, even if we got relegated. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, obviously wish him all the best. And I ain't saying the last we've heard of him yet anyway, because we'll still be talking about him obviously in the end of the season, and like I said, the testimony and stuff like that. But yeah, half expected it, but when it's reality, do you know what I mean? It does make you think, obviously, but that's just natural, isn't it? Because he's such a guy around the club.
Yeah, no, 100%. You even think of last season when Rob Edwards was doing a pre-match press conference, you heard him in the background. Just certain stuff like that. We will miss as a team, but obviously we have got them leaders. And we'll be honest, there was games, especially in pre-season, where he come on and he was a bit like rusty and just done individual mistakes that he just shouldn't really be doing. And they were sort of telling signs, especially Celta Vigo. We were competing with them. They're a decent Spanish team, and then as soon as he come on, he done some mistakes and we lost. And even let's be honest, the Oxford game when he come on in that game, he was shaky. So, like you say, he does need them minutes. He does need them minutes, and it was always going to be difficult, really, especially with the ones that are now ahead of him. in the midfield options. So yeah, it's one of them. But like I say, obviously, he will have that testimonial, and yeah, man, I'll try my best to be in and around the area if I can't go to the game for that, because that'll be sick for to see and stuff. Um, but yeah, that's that really. When it comes to that, sort of answered this question now. This was the question by Ed. Will he get his place back? I don't think so. Like you said, Dad, his contract's out in the summer. It's going to be very difficult for him to come back in. And again, let's be honest, if they actually let him have that penalty against Fulham, he wouldn't probably be at the football club this season. Let's be honest. He'd scored in every league, and that had been sick. With one club anyway. But yeah, no, I can't see it personally. I mean, like I say, he's been a bit rusty, and again, that what you said about the ruthlessness, that's good from Bloomfield and that, 'cause we need that. Because Rob Edwards, he didn't really have that. We need Bloomfield to come in with his ideas and make it work basically. And some players, are gonna have to get off the books like they have. So yeah, and he is one of them. I do believe. But yeah, Jackie says, I'm really happy with our new signings. Fellow is something to actually look forward to. Yeah, absolutely. And it gives you a bit more confidence now, that we can stay up as the season goes on now. But yeah, Dad, I'm going to ask you this question. I'll put this question in the chat. Favourite signing? What's been your favourite signing out of the
Hard to
ones?
judge, really, isn't it? Because we haven't seen them. But obviously, like if you're just basing it on potential and that, it's got to be Asgard for me. Um, he looks like a quality player. The others, will have to wait and see. But yeah, so far I'd say him. Yeah, and don't
Yeah,
forget, like we've got players out as well. Like that probably going. We've got Baptiste there. Yes, he's been an injury and whatever, and then maybe he'll get offloaded in the summer. But currently, he's probably not too far away from coming back. We've got Chong as well. Like, where's he fitting into this system? It's going to be interesting. I think we might end up selling him in the summer. Um, but yeah, Asgard for me.
yeah, I agree. Chong was an interesting one. It'd be interesting to see where he actually plays. Like, will he be on the wing or will he be like as on out wide or in the 10? I don't know. It's going to be interesting because you've got Asgard there now. Clark plays there sometimes as well. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, on Baptiste, he shouldn't be too far away. I mean, I'm starting to get a bit frustrated with players like him and Burke. I'll be honest. Like, they're good players on their day, but you just can't rely on them. And it is frustrating, especially when you're in that relegation battle. Like we were last season, and players obviously can't help injuries, but their injuries are they're just too much. And I think if they can, say for example, they come back, they get injured again, they got to go. It's as simple as that. Like it's one of them now. But Ed's is Naismith, his favourite signing. A rock we need. Yeah, we definitely, like I said, we're missing a leader since Lockyer at the back. I do believe McGuinness can grow into that. Obviously, he's just joined. Naismith knows the club. Yeah, I agree. That would be him or Asgard. Like I said, is my favourite one. I don't really know. It's Asgard, like you say, has got that potential. Obviously, he's young. He looks very hungry and good and stuff. And Naismith, just for the experience, I know he was good for us. So I sort of know what I can expect from him when he's fully up to match sharpness and stuff. So yeah, that's that. When it comes to that, we've touched on Holmes, so we won't bother about that one. But the last one we will discuss is Cooley Woodrow leaving on loan. I mean, it was always going to be him and Elijah, given by the reported rumours of Elijah, and then obviously Woodrow. What Bloomfield said after the Sheffield Wednesday game, there's been interest, but he's happy to keep him. But if the offers are serious, basically, then we'll consider it. And obviously, he has gone. I am surprised that he has gone to Blackburn. I'll be honest with you guys. But again, if there is a manager who can get the best out of him, it is probably Eustace. He is a good manager. They have got a lot of good striking options anyway, so it's going to be interesting to see where he actually fits in. I mean, they're playing tonight.
Yeah, he's
Uh,
not. He didn't sign in time, I don't think.
he didn't sign in time to be in the lineup. Okay, fair enough.
See how
QPR, well,
they signed 2 strikers, didn't they?
yeah, they signed Dennis, the one that used to play for Watford.
That's
Uh,
it. Yeah.
yeah, I think they signed him just after, something like that. So yeah, that's what I mean. And they on top of that, they've got Campbell. They've got that what I think it's Wyman. I think the one that scored the spectacular goal against Burnley at Turf Moor in the season. You know, they've got a lot of strikers. So, like I say, it's going to be interesting to see where he does fit in to that team. But I'll be honest, for us, you know, especially coming back, we were excited to have him back because obviously he was there as a youngster. We felt he sort of had the point to prove, to build on basically what he did originally, but it just didn't live up to it. His goal scoring record weren't great. Yes, he got a few late on goals, but overall, when he had good chances to step up, Man United in the Premier League is the one for me where Elijah got injured in the warm up. He just didn't really do much. And people go, "Oh, that's the Premier League and that," but Morris scored in that game. We done well. We done well in that game. It was just he had them chances to step up and he didn't. And his goal record is a fact that it's not good enough. So I'm happy about this. I have to be honest. How do
Well,
you feel about
he
this,
could still help us out. You know what I mean? If he plays against any of the teams that are our rivals at the bottom and that, he could still do us a favour. Obviously his agent. We've said that you're not going to be playing. Speak to your agent, try and get a move, and Blackburn have gone in for him. I think that they'll probably just have him for the rest of the season, unless if he proves himself, then maybe he'll get a move there. It's a bit more for his experience, do you know what I mean? And it didn't work out for us, but he has got quality. It's hardly ever showed it. Do you know what I mean? So I think they've just brought him in there, a bit like we brought Naismith a little while, but obviously Woodrow's got no link to Blackburn as far as I know. So it is quite an interesting one because when he first said, I thought he said Bristol Rovers, and I was thinking he's a bit better than that. Like I don't think he's. Do you know what I mean? I expected him to go somewhere like I don't know Charlton. Like I said, Wrexham was talked about, but we'll see. He could still help us, but we know now that he's not going to come off the bench and things like that, and we've got the other options, and it just shows you that if you're not performing, we're looking to move you on. You know what I mean? So, so like a loan deal. We'll see what happens. But again, I don't think we'll be having him in the summer anyway.
Nah, I think it's time to eventually move on. I mean, a lot of us as fans have got frustrated really because, well, for me, like I say, he's had them chances. He's just not really lived up to it. When he has started a couple of games and stuff. So it's best for both parties, I feel, and that's what's happened. Obviously, Jackie is happy about it. But Ed's got a question for us. Obviously, you back us to stay up, Dad. Predicted finish. Where if you had to say right now?
About 17th, 18th, 17th. I think we'll pull away. It's going to be jittery because the next couple of games is against top teams. But you don't know. That way, Sunderland probably should lose that, but you don't know now. These other players step up. Sheffield United at home, we should really be going for a result there. And then, like I said, we've got to play the bottom teams. Teams in and around us, and I feel more confident. Playing. I feel much more confident playing them. Even Cardiff away, I think we could get something there. So I think we'll pull away a little bit. But we'll still be in and around it. We've left it kind of a little bit late, but because I don't think we're going to go on some mad run. But I do think we'll start picking up a lot more points, and the points we need to pick up where we need to pick them up. I think, and we'll just be above it, and then next season we won't be the favourites probably to go up or win the league or whatever. So that puts it, that will help us. We'll see what happens. See what happens in the summer. We won't need to make loads and loads of signings, because it depends who stays and things like that. If we can keep hold of, Kaminsky, Doughty, Mengi, players that obviously all the players we've just signed, we're keeping them. See what happens. Maybe time to get Elijah go, Morris go, potentially one of them. Um, and yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I think we'll kind of scrape it a little bit, but we'll finish 17th. I'm going from.
Fair enough. As for me, yeah, I'm gonna say we literally just survive. I could say 21st right now. Like I say, if we get them that away form going on a bit, and yeah, I agree. I mean, without looking into it too much, Cardiff. I said a while ago. I went on OK Football's phone in, and I said they asked me when do I see the next away win. I actually said Cardiff, and this was like quite a while ago. So I see us beating them, yeah. But like Plymouth at home, we have to beat them. There's no excuses, man. They've been worse than us away. We have to win that game. Simple as that. Them games, 3 points only. You can't be drawing them games or anything like that. But yeah, Sunderland's going to be interesting. Obviously, they signed Jayden Danns from Liverpool on loan, so that's going to could start against us. So that'll be quite interesting to see how that goes. But yeah, no, we won't obviously look into that too much this season. But yeah, I'll say we just survived, literally just. Jackie's going quite high. Jackie's going 12th. We'd definitely take that.
Well, you never know. Look at Coventry. You know what I mean? They were like in
Yeah,
Lampard.
they're up there now.
Well, again, they've got the quality in their squad. Arguably, we've got better quality than they have, but their squad got some good quality in their squad, and it's utilising it. So that's where we need to kind of be. But now we've done a strong transfer window. That should help definitely.
Yeah, and that's the thing about the championship. It's one of them where a couple of wins and you're up there, and that's what's happened with Coventry. And QPR. A couple of weeks ago, obviously, I know they've lost I think it's their last game. Yeah, lost their last two games, but before that, they were doing all right. And then they had a few results and climbing up there, and then maybe had an outside shout for a playoffs. Obviously, they're playing tonight, so we'll see how that goes against a good Blackburn team. So yeah, it's all interesting. As it is possible, definitely. Ed's gone 15th. He says feel better with these new players. Yeah, exactly. It's got to give you that bit of confidence, hasn't it? When it comes to that as well. So yeah, I think that's everything we want to discuss on today's one. Obviously, it won't be back until obviously it's the next week, isn't it? So probably Tuesday. The game's on Wednesday, so we'll probably come. Yeah, we'll come back on Tuesday, so we'll have a basis of team news. Is anyone going to maybe be back unexpectedly, like Baptiste? Maybe we shall see. But any final things, Dad? Do you want to say about anything before we end it?
No, like Jackie says, we've got to be positive now, innit? So, and as long as the players are, which from what Doughty was saying, maybe he's going to be a voice in the changing rooms. We know he's quite Larry if he wants to be anyway, which I don't mind, like South London boy and that. Do you know what I mean? Remember in pre-season where someone like tackle, you got a lucky tackle in or whatever, and it was pre-season and you had lucky. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think you can see it turning. You can see it turning, like in little patches, wasn't it? And we've made these signings now, so yeah. And even the ones we'd already made, Fanny looked pretty decent. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, enjoy the break. We got Watford soon as well. They're starting to slip up at home. So
yeah, I mean that's positive.
Do you know what I mean? And if we beat them, they probably would sack Cleverly. So yeah, that'd be quite good. Do you know what I mean? And also, we put in a good performance at home against Sunderland. Do you know what I mean? So some of them lads won't be, not confident, and then the new signings they'll be up for that. So yeah, you could get a surprise win there. You never know. They're not like smashing up the league. They're doing all right, comfortable. Do you know what I mean? They'll probably be in the playoffs and stuff, but then they're not Leeds. They're not. You know what I mean? They're not Sheffield United. they're the problem. I think we've got to play Leeds as well again, have we? At home, though, is it? So, but I think that would be a good game. We normally do have good games with them. But they're scoring goals. Burnley's problem is they're not scoring enough defensively. Yeah, fantastic, but I think Leeds are gonna win the league. But yeah,
I agree. Leeds, just give it. I said it to people the other day when they won 7-0. Just give them the flipping title. You know what I mean? Like, I know Cardiff obviously have been very up and down this season, but still, 7 goals. Like, come on now. It's like Nottingham Forest winning 7-0. Just give them top 4. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's one of them really. But yeah, no, I agree. But Burnley are playing today as well. They're one of their teams playing Oxford, so that should be interesting. At Turf Moor as well. Not too long away that game, but yeah. On the Sunderland thing as well, they have got a bit of a gap. So it could be one of them where I'd say that top 4 is probably nailed on in the Championship. In that order that it is right now. So we need to win more realistically because there is that massive gap, like I say. So you never know. Like I say, we did play well against them. One of the better performances, other than obviously the Watford game. That was, the only 2 really good standout performances for the whole game, and we were robbed off a goal. So we can definitely give them a game. The games in recent years have always been tight. I can't really think of a game where it's been quite heavy. Obviously even the playoffs games as well. They were very close as well, weren't they? So let's see in it. Let's see. But obviously we'll get into that Tuesday, and then obviously that game is on Wednesday. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, big up to everyone that tuned in. Ed says thanks, lads. Enjoyed that. Yeah, nice one, mate. Big up to yourself as always. But yeah, like I say, smash a like, subscribe. Follow me across all my socials. Obviously, if you do watch it on playback, do smash a like, do subscribe, all of that. And yeah, subscribe to the extra channel. As for content, there's just going to be shorts out the next few days. Obviously, the window's shut now, so there's nothing to really talk about now when it comes to that. We've got a break. So yeah, no major content for a while, unless we sign someone for free, like we did with Moses, potentially. Joel Ward under contract at Palace.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe someone like that. Maybe obviously we were linked with him, so something like that comes up. So talk on it, but we shall see when it comes to that. So yeah, like I say, big up to everyone, all of that, and until next time, we will see you lot in a bit. So till then, take care and peace.